Lydia Boyd here, lactation specialist. I am based in Los Angeles, and I provide support to expectant and breastfeeding families, families who are returning back to work after their maternity leave, and I support families as they're ending their breastfeeding relationship, whether it is in the event of a loss or they are weaning. You can find me all over social media at Lydia O. Boyd CLE. You can email me, lydia@lydiaoboyd.com, and you can find my website along with my services and pricing and a scheduler at bit.ly/Lydia's resources. Definitely connect with me if you are looking for somebody to support you through your breastfeeding journey. If you are looking to put together a support group or a class, or if you are having an event and you need someone to speak for you on the subject of breastfeeding or lactation, definitely consider me. I am your person. All right. I would love to do that with you. All right. So today I'm going to do this. I'll try to do this really quick. I'm going to talk about those food myths, the things that we hear. So just to jump right on in, you got to drink milk to make milk. No, it's not true. A lot of moms who do not drink milk, cow's milk, are able to have a very healthy milk supply. So drinking milk does not help you make milk. Things like programs like WIC, who, they give milk away, they're going to encourage you to drink milk. One, because the USDA it recommends that we have a certain amount of milk in our diet. You can get the nutrients from milk from different sources. However, that does not cause you to make more milk. What the recommendation is for milk is because mom loses a lot of stuff when she's breastfeeding. Not that, her body is hurt. It's just that her body is smart enough that whatever the baby needs during those each developmental milestones, the body pulls from moms, and it's pulling from her reserves. So a lot of fat resources is being depleted. And that's one of the reasons why we hear people say moms lose a lot of weight when they're breastfeeding. Okay? So the certain recommendations that we hear is to help mom replenish what she's used up breastfeeding. Okay? But milk will not cause you to make more milk. Okay? One of those things that I heard was, well, if you breastfeed, you have to eat tomatoes. And that's a big one in the black community, because for some odd reason, black folks don't like tomatoes. I like tomatoes. But that whole thing of, you gotta eat tomatoes, you don't have to eat tomatoes. Okay? You have to eat anything you don't want, honestly. You don't like. So you don't have to eat tomatoes. I personally like tomatoes. I'd say, why not? But if you take your tomatoes off, or you order your burger with no tomatoes, you're fine. You're fine. Okay? Things that can help, maybe not so much help your milk supply, but they help you kind of recover. All right? And I always encourage my moms to make a list of the foods that they want, right? Or they like, right? You may not want it right then and there, but have your list together, right? And if you have like an old person that's going to cook for you, then have them make, these foods, but have them pack it up and maybe put them in storage containers so that you can put them in the freezer. And then when your appetite comes back, then you can eat it. And your appetite will go away after you deliver. Usually, especially for breastfeeding moms, exclusively breastfeeding moms, excuse me, they probably won't have appetite for the first 3 weeks. Okay? So don't be surprised if you're really not hungry. You're probably more thirsty. You want something really light, not something big and heavy. Okay? So this goes back to things that will help. Okay? Pot liquor. And for those of us good black folks that came through slavery, we have pot liquor when we make our greens, right? And that's just the juice, the watery contents when you have your greens, right? Some doulas and midwives, they make sure to have that available. And some of the old people are elders, that when we're going through the birthing process, we make sure that we have that once mom gets to a certain point, and we give her the pot liquor, right? One, because it's not heavy, right? It keeps her hydrated depending on how we make it. And those green leafy vegetables are filled with a lot of iron and other nutrients that feed the body for this, task that she has to go through to push this baby out. So then on the opposite end, after she's delivered, we have all this healing, right? There's a blood, right? Iron, we're going to get that blood healthy, all that iron to get in there and make that blood nice and rich again. And a lot of times when moms do blood tests afterwards, they're anemic, right? So giving her that pot liquor, even though she's probably more thirsty, she doesn't want like a full plate, giving her that, letting her just sip on that pot liquor is good. It's gonna help nourish and put those rich nutrients. And we already know that green leafy vegetables is like wonderful, right? So do that. So if you have somebody who can make you a pot of greens, right? And even if you just eat the little, a little tiny bowl, right? And maybe that's all you want. You may not want more than that. That's good. And if, Granny makes it with a little meat or whatever in there, depending on however you do it, if you do turkey necks or if you do neck bones or whatever, those are all fine. Now, I will say this, be cautious about using salted meats and stuff, because if you've had a hospital birth, you may already be dealing with some swelling, right? For all the IV. Adding like salty stuff is just going to make you hold on to the fluids. So you may want to watch some of that, okay? If Granny makes you some pot liquor, right? She makes you the greens, and then maybe she drains out some of the pot liquor. Then what you can do is maybe water it down, okay? Or what we can do is, instead of using smoked neck bones or smoked ham hocks, and I know some people are cringing, but we're going to respect everybody. Some people use that. Instead of using smoke, then get Granny the fresh ones and let her cook those, all right? And then in this case, we're not going to shake any salt on those, all right? What we're going to do is we're going to use all of our other seasonings, but not seasonings that have a lot of salt. So we're not going to just add salt to it itself. And then we're going to try to stay away from seasoned blends that have salt as well, because that just adds to the salt content. So we're going to use other things, maybe like garlics and cayenne pepper, those other things, some parsley, just other things that we put in our greens. And then also we can always use other vegetables. So lots of onions, fresh garlic. Yeah, I use onions and fresh garlic in mine, but that's what you're gonna do. And then you have that, okay? Things like macaroni and cheese, your dressings, your candied yams, things like that. Those are all comfort foods. You just feel good, right? Again, mom is probably not going to have a huge appetite, but they all play a different role. Some cautions with our dressings. If your family uses sage in the dressing, we're going to be very cautious about how much mom gets, or if we can this time, try to keep the sage out, okay? Try to maybe refrain from using the sage. If sage is like one of your key ingredients, then we need to make sure that mom is not eating a large quantity of this dressing in frequent occurrences, okay? So if you give her a little piece here, and then she's like me, she just loves dressing, and then 10 minutes later she got another piece, and you look up and in an hour she didn't ate the whole pan. No. We use sage to when moms are ending their breastfeeding relationship, or if we're dealing with some engorgement and we need to slow milk production, we use sage, okay? So ingesting sage in specific quantities can affect your milk supply in a negative way. So we want to be cautious with that, all right? The macaroni and cheese, again, comfort food, but with all that cheese and stuff, it can cause mom to be constipated. If we're already having some issues with her passing a bowel movement, then we need to be, just cautious of that. And then sometimes the cheese can cause gas in mom. If it causes gas in mom, it causes gas in the baby. Gas is normal, but if mom's had a cesarean, Ooh, child, that gas, that's hard, right? So then the candy yams, again, comfort food. It's a quick pack of energy. There's good nutrients, especially depending on how we make them. Now, if your yams is truly candied, if they're diabetical, then we may want to refrain from those, all right? Are we gonna, kind of encourage mom to be a bit not selective, but just good morning, use some constraint with that, okay? And the reason being is that all of that sugar, if we're dealing with a mom who was dealing with gestational diabetes, that sugar is just gonna aggravate those elevated insulin levels, okay? So bring it on down, okay? And I know it tastes good, and it's probably gonna make her feel good, and it's just gonna be like, okay, yes, just a little bit. So if you make it, if you're the person that makes it, then you make a really small dish, right? Don't make this big old pan where she's eating off these candy yams all day, every day for 2 weeks, or not that long, but you know what I mean. So that, okay? Some other things that we talk about in the Black community: you got an upset stomach, somebody got some gas, somebody threw up. Granny would granny say, go get the baby a ginger ale, right? We're not going to do the ginger ale. We're going to use fresh ginger, or we're going to use ginger tea, okay? I am a fan of fresh ginger, and actually I have some on my counter at home. One of my moms just gave me a nice pack of fresh ginger, and I need to do something with it. I think I'm going to peel it, chop it up, and put it in the freezer so I can have it for my spa water, okay? What can you do? Say the baby has been spitting up, the baby's been a little gassy, mom's been a little gassy, somebody's been gassy, right? What are we going to do? What we're going to do is we're going to take that fresh ginger. You can steep it in hot water and make a tea out of it, okay? You can cut it up, like I said, peel it, cut it up, put it in the freezer. Take those cubes of frozen ginger out, put it in mom's spa water, okay? If you remember one of my videos around the holidays of how to prepare for breastfeeders, right? You can make the spa water. So if you have as much ginger as I have, and I have like a quart size storage bag of just nothing but fresh ginger, what you can do with that is peel it, cut it up, right, in chunks, right? Get you maybe a bag of lemon, cut that up, right? And then if you want to add some strawberries or some blueberries, take that, put it all in the freezer, right? Let it freeze maybe overnight or a couple days, and then you have your canister, your nice little pretty canister. Pour that down at the bottom, right? And then pour your water over it. You're going to do it in layers, maybe a layer of the fruit and ginger, the ice, fruit and ginger ice, layer it, and then get you maybe a gallon of water and put that in there until it's full, and then you have a nice spa water. Your moms will love you. People will love you, okay? Ginger, what does that do for you, right? As you know, Granny said, go get you some ginger. Ginger is a natural tummy soother, okay? So a lot of moms like to take ginger, whether it's the fresh or the ginger tea, and they drink it. The active agents in it that soothes the tummy gets in their milk, and it can help soothe the baby's tummy. So for babies who are having issues with spitting up and gas, this really works. And again, for mommies, and it also helps for other children, okay? So I've seen it in a lot of my moms. They love it. They say either the spitting up goes away or it decreases a lot, okay? Also, ginger can be a natural galactagogue where it helps with milk production, all right? Now, I'm not encouraging you to take this every day for the whole time that you're breastfeeding. No. What I'm saying is, if you have this tummy issue and you want to try the ginger, then be mindful that with that, you may see an increase in milk supply. Okay, I'm not telling you to use it for these reasons and for these purposes. I'm just saying these are the things that moms have experienced, right? And so yeah, these are the things that moms have experienced. Peppermint. You know, as good black folks, we sit in church, right, for the service, and what do? We sit there and we suck on peppermint. You saw that meme, that graphic, all the elders on that front row in all their white, looking all regal and stuff, and somebody said that between that, on that row, probably like $1 million worth of peppermint. For the breastfeeding mom, you can't be their friends, okay? Because she gonna have you sucking on peppermint for the whole church service. You eat all that peppermint, it's gonna affect your milk supply, okay? Peppermint can have a negative effect on your milk production and your milk supply. So we're gonna not be crack addict with the peppermint, okay? So do not sit in church service and eat a whole tin of Altoids. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Now, if you sit in church service and you have one peppermint, you should be fine. But if you sitting there and you having a pound of peppermint, we gonna have a problem. All right. So be mindful of that. And I want to say that's it. Oh, and people ask me about chocolate. Okay. The issue with chocolate is chocolate has caffeine in it. Okay. Now, we know now that it's, and I'll touch on coffee while we're at it. With coffee, we know now a mom can have about 2 cups of coffee per day, right? And breastfeed. The caffeine, the issue is the caffeine, is because caffeine is a stimulant. It can get in the mom's milk and it can overstimulate the baby. So then what happens is the baby is agitated, right? But also what it can do is, because mom is wired, then what it does is it can affect the milk release, okay? So we just have to be mindful of that, okay? You can have coffee, you can have chocolate. I am a chocolate addict, okay? Some people say they do see babies who, when moms eat chocolate, that they have the runs. I'm not sure about that. I'm not going to really attest to that, because you already have to remember with breastfeeding, the dirty diapers are supposed to be liquid. A normal diaper a dirty diaper is supposed to it's going to be watery with some seeds, mustard yellow color, and that's normal. So people say, well, it's diarrhea. If it's diarrhea, it's running. So breast milk poop is running. I don't understand what we're talking about, okay? So that's the thing. And if you're talking about once we get older, my first thing is to always be mindful if the baby is showing any signs of discomfort. If the baby is not showing signs of discomfort, then I would be watchful, but I would probably not be as concerned. All right? So this is it. I think everything else we should be fine. So my goal is to get your baby fed, and in order for us to feed the baby, we need you to eat. Again, a reminder, it is completely normal. So for the elders and the friends and the supporters that are watching me, dads, sissies, moms, all that kind of stuff, for you who are watching me, understand, mom probably will not have an appetite for the first 3 weeks, okay? That's fine. Do not badger her. Don't stress her out. Don't try to force her to eat. She will eat when she is ready, okay? She will be more thirsty than anything, so you want to make sure that she stays hydrated. And hydration is not going to really mess with her milk supply. It's just she's thirsty, okay? One, because she's losing a lot of liquid. Her body is adjusting to now producing all this milk, right? And she just gets thirsty. And then especially depending on the time of the year, if it's hot, she really gonna be thirsty, okay? So let's keep water. One of the reasons why WIC gives so much juice to breastfeeding moms, you got to stay hydrated. Really good tip about that ginger in the water. And if she doesn't like the ginger, then you can always make other types of spa water. Pinterest can be your friend, all right? So yeah, so do that, all right? If you have any questions, please let me know. Comment below. You can message me. You can email me, lydia@lydiaoboy.com. And you can definitely find my website if you would like for me to go into this a little bit deeper, for maybe a class or something. Definitely consider me, all right? So you guys have an awesome and amazing day.